This is day 11 of learning how to make animated movies. My name is Michael Lardizabal, and my goal this year is to become awesome at pre-production, production, and post-production using writing, art, and Blender for 3D art, animation, and modeling. Hello to all the new people who joined the channel. You're amazing. Glad to have you. Okay, today was a really busy, awesome day, so I got lots of stuff to show you, so let's jump right in. So, if you've been following along, I've been studying the movie Mulan, and I've not even made it out of the first sequence yet, but it is teaching me so much. Today was really awesome because I covered a lot of ground, story speaking. There was a lot of parts where I just did it really sketchy, and I only spent longer times on what I really wanted to zoom in on. But it taught me a lot, and also I got lots of new characters. So instead of just the first guy, we got some bad guys, we got the bad guy. Pretty exciting. All right, let's just walk through the sequence, and then we'll zoom in into the details, okay? First off, this one's really small, but characters there, all the grappling hooks are thrown over the wall, and he's like, oh dang, I gotta go light the fire and let people know that we're being attacked. And so he's running to the door. All right, the next thing, he's like, okay, I gotta get to the ladder so I can go light the fire. And so he's like, sweet, I'm gonna go do it. Does he get to do it? Yes, but there's bad guys, which these guys are really fun to draw. It was really neat to kind of figure out what made this guy work. And then he's like, oh no, there's bad guys. And then he leaps for the ladder, and guess what? Yes, he makes it onto the ladder, but this is a sword. The dude chops the ladder and it falls off, and he almost falls into the clutches of the bad guys, but he hangs on, pulls himself up, and grabs the fire, right? Then we move on to the next page of the scene, and guess who jumps over the freaking wall? Our main bad guy, whose character design is so cool, and I absolutely love it, and it's so cool, so you can definitely tell I spent more time trying to get this one right. Our character, he sees the guy, and he's like, oh no, he's really scary, right? But then he looks away, very determined. I'm gonna throw that fire in, and I'm gonna let the people know that you're here. So he does it. He lights the fire, and then bad dude looks at him and then looks over to see all the other fires lit, and that's this really kind of sketchy thing of him with the bird looking and seeing the fire of this outpost going, fire this outpost going, and that's where I left off. So cool, such a great scene, really fun to study and develop. So let's break down some of the cool things that I found in here, and also what I struggled with, and kind of see what's up. First off, I thought this was pretty okay, but definitely had trouble like getting the body proportions right. So gonna keep working on that. But this one was really interesting. The angle of the camera is like tilted. So that's a Dutch angle. It's often used to show an unease in the scene, like things are not right. And things in this case are absolutely not right. And then the Dutch angle continues for at least these next two shots, right? Or next three, with this doorway that these characters are coming out of, the same doorway that's right here in this one over here. Got the Dutch angle there, things are not right. Then the Dutch angle here, trying to get to the ladder, it's not right. I definitely struggled right here. I went too kind of crazy, squash and stretching his face out. And so then I redid it, and it was much better, much closer to the thing. And so what helped me with that, I've been using the triangle of the face to kind of get the eyes and the nose right, which I feel like those were not too bad. But I was like, okay, once I get the triangle in, then I kind of like gently mark out where I think the boundaries of the face are, and that's giving me a chance to both like feel out the proportions correctly, but also test myself and check myself a little bit better. So with this one, super sketchy, but I was just trying to get the idea. This was fun to kind of break down more and try and get it right. Like the shape of the feet was really simplified, but the way that it's filled in was cool, because like the shape is just this kind of nothing shape, but then when you add in like the different layers of things, then it becomes something. And even drawing these parts of the ladder was pretty cool to see like how they bound it together with the cloth. This one right here, let's not worry about him. Foreshortening on this dude, I had some trouble. So in the face, I just had some trouble with him. I think I was getting impatient too, because I knew what was coming, which was boom, the bad dude. He's so cool, and also I think I did a really good job capturing him, so yay for me. And yeah, it was really neat to kind of just learn how he was shaped and like how he worked, and the general big shapes that are used for it, like the helmet, then kind of going down to underneath his jaw. I just thought of it like a big diamond, and then I carved out the hood, and then in the face it's got like the crazy cheekbones, and then crazy square jaw. Just fantastic. Now, contrasting this one, which I feel like is actually closer to what I saw in the film, to this one, it was too narrow. I think it still looks cool, but like his actual shape is something closer to this is not a good version. It doesn't really look like him. It's something closer to that, where it's almost like a cartoon skull would be, something in there. And then you get these shapes. Let's see what I can do from this weird angle. And then the eyes are much closer to the nose than I did in the drawing over there. Very thick eyebrows with these crazy upshot versions of them. And then the eyes are really crazy. Like, it's the pupil, and then there's like this dark coloring around it, which is very cool. Anyway, so you get the point. Overall, very, very educational and very fun. And I'm really happy that I'm starting to get some of this drawing DNA into my bones. I feel like Mulan is a great kind of place it's very close to where I want to be with animation. I feel like it's like Mulan plus a little bit grittier. Yeah, it's like so helpful and very cool. And young me is very happy. Okay, so Blender update. I've been doing this course where we're making like the sword in the stone, and look at it. Oh my gosh, it looks so cool. Actually, if I go to this one, it looks even more awesome, because this is actually what's going to happen after it's composited and rendered. I mean, look at that thing. Okay, let's break down a little bit of what I see in here, what's so awesome. And to do so, I'm going to show you what it's like when we start taking things away. Before I do that, let me just show you this view. So this is actually a lot of what's happening, and this looks obviously radically different and not so cool. But let me explain what's going on. So back here, this is an exterior light. This giant cube is what's actually creating like the depth, the kind of atmospheric haze. And then we have this guy and this guy, which are the light rays. And so this was really eye-opening to know how things work, to know that a lot of this is putting things in simple shapes, but then what you do within those shapes is where it gets really crazy and complex. Even this guy over here is all one thing, really. So if I, boom, it's gone. So let's do the same thing, but over in animation. And so you can see like the light is looking a little bit more streaky. It's not as refined and polished as over here in rendering, but it's close enough that as I start to take away some of the things that are cool, you'll see how much the lights are playing a role in making this awesome. So first off, oh, that's the rock wall. Let's keep the rock wall. But if we take it the way exterior light, it's gone from there. So the exterior light is really, really bright, but it's not putting the light very far out. So let's take away the big giant cube that was the atmospheric haze, the depth. Whoa, big difference. You see that? Now the thing why that like works so good is that if you look at the rocks back here without the haze, you can see them so clear that it's harder for the sword to stand out as much, especially if I take away the light rays. It's only because of the lightness and the darkness that it is, helping you out. Here's the key light, and then take away the rim light, and then we're just in a dark scene, right? Super cool. So let's add them back in with the depth, add in the light rays, and wow, now we got something pretty dang cool. So I'm very proud of my work here, following along in the course, and I can't wait to keep going. So there's still some cool stuff we're gonna work on soon with this, adding in some crazy lightning effects, adding in a character, and then doing some camera moves, and then I'll officially have done this part of the course, and made my first cool finished little thing. And then from there, the goal is to redo it again as best as I can from memory while just, using the course for reference until I can pretty much do it from memory. And then I'm gonna start making some cool other stuff with it. We'll get into that later, but pretty happy with that progress. Okay, next, what I'm about to show you is very sketchy. Before I show you, I'm gonna talk about my schedule, what I've been working on, like how my days have been shaking out, and what I felt like was missing, and what I'm gonna try adding into my schedule to become awesome at writing and art and Blender. What I'm doing right now is on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I practice art fundamentals. I've been working a lot on faces, but that'll keep going into body and hair and so on and so forth. On those days, I also do writing. And so whatever is next in the Coffee Break Screenwriter book, I just do the next exercise until I have a finished script. And then I work on Blender, right? And so I pretty much do that every day. Then on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, I work on storyboard practice, which is what I've been doing with my Mulan studies, and then concept art for my story. Currently, I've been doing a course on visual development, which I also did today, but I don't really have anything to show you, where I'm mostly just kind of learning right now. And the big thing I'm learning is, wow, a lot of research goes into world and environment and character design. It's honestly kind of intimidating how much goes into it, but it's okay. I will start where I'm at and I'll get better over time. But essentially the name of the game is research your dang butt off. And yeah, do a lot of research. And the big thing I'm also taking on is just draw more from reference. And then the other thing I do on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is, of course, Blender again. But the things I was really feeling like I was lacking was 2D animation practice, because my goal is to do 3D with like a more outline and cel shaded look, but then incorporate 2D animation elements, probably with the face, the hair, hands, and maybe some like effects stuff here and there. And so in order to do that, I need to practice it, because where I'm at in terms of 2D animation is I am pretty good at being able to do like animated storyboards, but they're really choppy and they're not super smooth, and I haven't had a lot of practice going from the rough, very choppy animation to taking it all the way to really nice and clean and smooth animation. And obviously, if I wanted to combine 3D with 2D, I probably need that to be good. So I've decided that on my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I'm working with art fundamentals, I also will do some animation fundamentals and just practice that. And then not really trying to do like full scenes or even full shots with all the pieces. But for now, I think I just want to take like one element of something and then see if I can do it. So like the eyes, can I have the eyes be looking this way, then move and be looking that way? Just simple little stuff, but where I have to take it all the way from idea, rough, to smooth and clean animation, and even probably color some of it. Maybe not every shot, but like start getting that rhythm of, I can do this the whole way through. And the other thing I was missing is I'm working on my big story, which is a Kung Fu revenge fantasy story, but I'm not getting the practice of shorter cycles of little finished stories. And so that's something where I felt like it would probably be really good to do that. And then similar to the idea of practicing 2D animation, where I really go from rough to finished, polished look. I think I need to do that with visual stories, like in more of like a comic type form. Right now, I don't know what the things are gonna look like after this, but I know right now I'm trying to work on a little tiny short story comic, probably like 3 pages or something like that. But I know that I want it to be almost reminiscent of like, what if Dragon Ball with little young Goku was, similar but different. Ultimately, I just really want to learn in the same way I'm learning from Mulan. I've been reading Dragon Ball, and so I wanted to learn better how to do some of these martial arts poses and shots and attacks and how to make them feel good and snappy. And I feel like Dragon Ball does that really well. So today, I tried my hand at writing a story, but with a twist. I tried writing it more like Miyazaki, meaning not with words, I just started drawing. Now, these drawings are not pretty, not even close. They are crazy rough. They're literally the same version of like writing so fast that it looks like chicken scratch, but the drawing version of that. But it still was really helpful for me to get the feeling of the story. So I'll show you a little bit of that. I don't know if I'll show you the whole thing because I don't want to ruin the surprise. My goal is to finish this in 3 weeks-ish. If it's sooner, cool. If it takes a little longer, that's okay as well. But generally speaking, I'm aiming for 3 weeks. So I'll just show you maybe the beginning. This is imagine a young martial arts fit-ish character, and he's just training. He's having a good time training. You can tell he's pretty quick, he's coordinated, he knows what he's doing, and he's very focused. Then there's a rumble, and he stops and he looks around like, huh? But then he goes back to training. And then there's another rumble, even bigger, and this bird that's been on a branch in the scene view, flutters away. He's looking around again, but this time, a shadow starts to go over his face and over his whole body, and you realize there's something really big here, because we've also, along with the rumbles, we start to hear the character's looking up in surprise. Cut to the next shot, which is like similar to a skyscraper. Like right here, there's this crazy rock giant monster guy, and he starts to bend down to approach our martial arts character. I'm sorry to be rude on this, but that's where I'm going to stop for now, because I don't want to ruin it before it's awesome looking. So I'm gonna start working on character designs and environment designs, and then be able to refine the story and make it look freaking awesome, and then I'll show you. Yeah, I'm really excited. I think it's really fun. I love the ending. I think it's just fun. So creative approach wise, I was a little bit concerned when I went to add into the animation and also time spent working on comics, because that means that I have really like 5 major areas that I'm working on each day. So 4 main, creative things, and then the video, making the video. And so that feels like a lot. And the thing I was worried about was, if I kind of split them up, will I be happy with the amount of time that I'm doing for all of them? Will it be too little? Or if I do enough that I feel good about the time, but I do it for all of them, is it too much? Am I gonna explode into a flaming ball of burnout? Which is obviously not my goal. I don't want to burn out. I want to keep doing this for a long time to come. And right now, it's keeping me very energized and excited. The more I do this stuff, the more I feel like my life energy is coming back, which is a good thing, that's exciting. But today gave me a lot of hope, because today I did about, 45 minutes of each thing. And I got a lot done across the board. I'm really proud of the work I did today. I know some days would be better, some days would be worse, but generally speaking, I'm really happy with the results. Biggest thing that I think is going to help is finding ways to make these videos even more efficient for me. So I've got a process down right now that seems to be working pretty well for my brain. There was only like one other time that I've been this consistent with videos, and it was a very long time ago, and it did not feel sustainable back then. And this is starting to feel more sustainable. So I'm doing it smarter, not harder. If all goes well, the cable that goes to this guy should come in and do some crazy magic of connecting cameras to the computer instead of recording things separate. I think I'll save a lot of time in the shooting and editing process of these videos, which ultimately means just a better holistic system that feels super reasonable to do, instead of pretty much every other time I've tried to do a big creative thing, I have not planned it well for me. Like maybe for someone else out there in the world, but I haven't planned it well for how I work and how my brain works. This time around, I'm not there yet. It's not fully dialed in, but I'm getting there, and I'm really happy about that. All right, so let's talk like creative emotions now. How am I feeling emotionally about my creative journey? Feeling really good. I feel like super encouraged that even with doing so many different things, I feel like I'm learning to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time. I think that comes down to a lot of things. Prepping better on Sunday so that my day is set up for success. The mental side of creativity, there's a lot less doubt in here in my brain than there used to be. And that's helping me to just like start working when it's time for me to do the creative work, instead of hesitating and hedging and thinking about doing the work but not actually doing it and getting distracted and looking at my phone or YouTube or whatever. So I think that's huge. It's really taught me like I can get a lot done in 45 minutes, even 30 minutes, 20 minutes sometimes. I've even had days where 10 or 15 minutes on something has been still meaningful progress. Content-wise is actually something I want to talk about emotions, because in the past it's been a slippery slope, right? And I think if you've ever done stuff online, you know what I'm talking about. it can be easy to get lost in the numbers, and if things are doing well, you're like, whoo, but the happier you are about the highs, the harder the lows hit. And I'm feeling really good about the balance in my brain. When I see the high numbers, I'm like, oh, cool, that's awesome. But when I see the low numbers, I'm like, that's cool too. And the reason why I can say that is I've been working on this weird belief in my brain, and I don't care if it's true or not, but it's helpful to me, so I'm gonna keep doing it. But the idea is this: as long as I stay in the game and I work on improving my creativity, I work on improving content, and per my own perspective, that it feels to me like, hey, I like it better than I used to like it. The idea is that during the time when the views are low or the things I make aren't as awesome as I wish they were, that those are essentially like pulling a rubber band back. And the further you pull it back, the longer you keep pulling it back, this is like this potential energy that's building up. And the idea is like the longer you're in the sucky period, which to me right now doesn't even feel sucky. It feels like, yeah, it's cool, whatever. Like it's just, I get to do the fun stuff I want to do and I'm happy about it. But if I know I'm going to have some bad days in the future, because it's just human nature, right? But if I can remind myself, I'm like, oh, yeah, what I made today did not go well. The 3 videos in a row, didn't get the views the other ones got, whatever. It's just building up. And even if it's like months of that or years of that, but I'm working on getting better, not only like creatively, but with content and also my mindset, that's so much potential energy. And then one day it just poof, like takes off. And I'm making things that I'm so proud of, and, hanging out with people that enjoy the things I make. So yeah, that idea's been helping me. I don't know if you're someone creative, if it's gonna help you. I hope it does. But at the very least, it gives you some jumping off points for your own ideas. And yeah, last but not least, I just want to say again, thank you so much for being here. It's been a good amount of new people here on the channel, and I just want to say welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm gonna keep making some cool stuff, keep hanging out. If you have any questions, let me know. I like to talk and share about stuff, as you can probably tell from these videos. And if you're doing your own creative things, drop them down in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're doing. Have a great day. Best of luck with whatever you're working on. See you next time.